Interesting.
YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know.
Throwing us a curveball.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we are back live. Sorry about that. It looks like our computer is as sick as we are. So yes, we both have a flu right now. We have a pretty major cold. But we're back. Let's try again. This is a brand new live session.
Yeah.
Nothing happened before. We are going to be deleting that video that didn't work. And let's start again. All right, Laura, take it away.
Yeah, so just as we are waiting for everyone to find this stream and come onto the live chat, I'll just reintroduce us again. So this is Robin and I am Laura, and we are the team behind BackpackerGuide.NZ, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide, and it's basically your Bible for everything to do with traveling in New Zealand. And what's more, it's absolutely free, so you guys should definitely go and check that out. But if you prefer to watch YouTube videos, you know, watching videos is sometimes a little bit more fun, then we do put this live Q&A session on every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time for you guys to come onto the live chat and ask us your New Zealand travel questions. But just to give you an idea of what time that is around the world, I have my trusty little board here to help me out. So that's 8 a.m. New Zealand time on a Sunday. We do our live Q&A session. But if you're in the US, that is on a Saturday at 4 p.m. EST and 12 p.m. PST. In Europe, so in the UK, that is around 9 p.m. on a Saturday evening, or 10 p.m. in France on a Saturday evening. Or if you are in India, then that is bright and early on a Sunday morning at 1:30 a.m. So sorry, guys, it's hard to really get a good time for everyone, but that's just how the world works, I guess. So yeah, throughout the week, we also gather your questions and add them to a pool of questions that we also answer on this live Q&A session. So if you do come up with any questions throughout the week, not necessarily on a Sunday, then you can put your questions in any one of our YouTube videos in the comments and just ask away, and we will put them into our pool of questions.
Woo.
Plenty. Otherwise, we are on Facebook. If you just search Backpacker Guide NZ and send us a private message with your questions, or you can search us on Instagram, which is at BackpackerGuide.NZ. Again, send us a private message with your question there. Or on Twitter, you can mention us with your question at BPK Guide.
All right, so there's already quite a bunch of people in the live chat. So Michael Mariano, aloha, of course, a million emojis. We also have Adil Mula, which is asking a question about doing outdoor activities with disability. So we're actually going to be answering your question right now. That is a really good question. And Deep T, which is coming to New Zealand in June, with his 9 years old, and is very keen to do adventure sport, and which are his options. 9 years old, you can do actually quite a lot. You won't be able to do any of the skydive and bungee, because I think there is requirements.
Yeah.
But definitely whitewater rafting is really awesome. So if you go near Tongariro, so in the town of Turangi, there is Tongariro River Rafting. It's kind of a mellow whitewater rafting, but it's still pretty epic for 9 years old. I think he's going to really like it.
That's really epic, yeah.
There is some really amazing hikes to do. There is some great kayaking tours as well. They're not going to be really adrenaline, but it's quite cool to do kayaking.
Yeah.
I think there is some pretty awesome mountain bikings as well to do.
Absolutely,
around. A lot of places that offer surfing, they do introductory lessons. So you can do introductory surf lesson, which is always really fun. Like as soon as you stand up on the board, you feel like $1 million. Yeah, you feel really awesome. What else has kind of adventure sports? Surf, kayak, whitewater rafting, mountain biking, hiking.
Yeah, I mean, jet boating as well is really awesome. You can do that pretty much at any age. You just go on a tour with an expert jet boat guide who is going to take you on a real thrill ride, near misses to river canyons, 360-degree spins. It's really like a super adrenaline rush. So definitely get him on one of those tours.
Yeah, so definitely if you go on BackpackerGuide.NZ and you go on the, what's the category? It's activities, and then you go for outdoor activities, and then you have all the adrenaline stuff. Check all these things, and we usually tell people, if it's kind of suitable for kids or not. So yeah, that's gonna be quite helpful for you. But let's go with the question from Adil. So Adil Mula says, "Hi guys, please recommend some outdoors activities that a person with a mobility impairment can do in New Zealand." All right, so that's a really cool question. And actually, we did those articles on BackpackerGuide.NZ very early on, just because it is a question that we get quite regularly and something that is quite dear to our heart. So we actually do have an article called 10 activities that you can do with disabilities in New Zealand, which is quite interesting. And there's some really surprising ones. And actually, the number one on our list was the activity that probably surprised me the most, and it's skydiving. So believe it or not, you actually can skydive with certain type of disabilities. So you obviously have to contact your skydiving companies and ask them. They need to have some special kind of material, but so some special quality equipment. But Laura, you have a story about that, right?
Yeah, so my brother has a mobility impairment, and he came to visit me in New Zealand, and he did a skydive in Queenstown, and it was absolutely epic. They do have some really like some skydive tandem masters that have been working in various skydiving companies around New Zealand for many years, so they're really highly experienced. And the best thing to do really for these sort of activities is to call ahead and say that you do have a mobility impairment, give them a little bit of details of what that might be. It might be that you need crutches or in a wheelchair or something, and they can basically assign you to the correct person who is going to skydive with you and be able to make that dream a reality. So that is definitely something that applies to all adventure activities in New Zealand. Just make sure that you call ahead and just explain the situation, and more often than not, they can actually accommodate you.
They always kind of have a solution.
Yeah, exactly.
Did your brother like it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he found it absolutely epic.
Nice.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
skydiving.
Let's move on to some other activities that you can do with a disability in New Zealand.
Yeah, another surprising one is bungee jumping, because this is they have a bit of a quote at AJ Hackett, which is like the main bungee jumping company in New Zealand, and they say that where is it? I saw it over here. Yeah, so you can be a big strong guy or a little wee girl or a paraplegic or a very old person. It's no problem to jump with all these people, because the thing about bungee is that it's from the shoulders up, so not from the shoulders down. So it's inside your head. And that's definitely the thing with bungee jumping. So yeah, bungee jumping is really more like if you have the will to actually throw yourself off a ledge or something like that. There are a few things that make this if you actually have back problems, they do suggest not to do it. That's the only thing. But if it is like just, a different mobility problem, then again, make sure you let those guys know, and you might still be able to do it. But an alternative to bungee jumping, which is very popular in New Zealand now, are some of these big canyon swings.
Yes.
Which is very similar. You get that free fall experience, but it's sort of ends with a big swing, and you're usually harnessed in a much different way, which is usually a lot better for if you do have mobility issues. So yeah, that's an alternative to bungee jumping if you can't bungee jump.
All right, moving on a little bit faster. Jet boating, obviously, the good thing about jet boating is that you're sitting down and you're completely strapped onto your seat. So there are a few disabilities that, if it's a little bit too weak around the neck, that you won't be able to do a jet boating, but it's very limited. And jet boating is definitely a massive thrill. Like disabilities or no disabilities, you're going to be mind blown by the jet boat. So it's definitely a cool one to do. And because you sit down, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, and probably one of the most accessible activities is parasailing. This is really good because you are harnessed. You're harnessed sort of around your legs and around your waist. You get some straps to hold on to, and you're basically on the back of a boat. And well, if you don't know what parasailing is, it's basically a parachute that goes up into the sky while a boat's pulling you around a lake or the sea. And there's some really awesome places to go and do that around in New Zealand. And we'll make sure to link to link to an article in the description below of all the places you can go parasailing. But yeah, that's quite a mellow thing to do, but quite awesome as well, because you get super high in the air and you get amazing views. So yeah, that's definitely another one to go and check out.
All right, so another one that Laura did a lot with her brother is all those accessible walk. There are so many outdoor walk in New Zealand which are fully boarded, meaning like literally you can do a walk in the middle of the forest with your wheelchair, which is quite amazing. I mean, I've really rarely heard of literally wheelchair accessible forest walk. It just, you know, it doesn't go together. But there is really a lot of them. They're really well marked. So the Department of Conservation will actually tell you if it is a wheelchair accessible walk. There is a symbol, and there is actually quite a lot of them. And some of the most amazing ones are actually wheelchair accessible. I mean, one of the things I'm thinking of is when you go up all the way on the north of the country to Cape Reinga, there is a couple of walks there where you can actually go see the beautiful kauri trees, which are the largest tree in New Zealand. It's such an impressive forest, and they're fully boarded. They're very easy to do, and they're really awesome. And there is some on the south and the north. I mean, there are plenty of them.
Yeah. Did you mention that the walks have the like wheelchair symbol on them?
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a logo that says, you'll recognize it.
Yeah. Okay, so another one to do if you it's usually very dependent on if you are into skiing, but they do adaptive skiing in New Zealand. A lot of the ski fields do that, the big commercial ones, but again, this is the thing that you'll need to call ahead so they can get you the correct instructor and the correct equipment to do some adaptive skiing in New Zealand. So yeah, there's a company that does that called Adaptive Snow Sports New Zealand, for instance. So that's another option if you're into that. I know that's quite a very, that's a very specific activity to do, but yeah.
All right, so the next one is whitewater rafting. Believe it or not, there is actually quite a lot of rivers in New Zealand which are easy enough for people with disabilities to be able to jump on the boat and go enjoy a whitewater rafting trip. So it's really a case-by-case kind of thing. So sometimes you will be on the boat, but you won't be the one paddling. Sometimes they would say, okay, you can do only that one trip, but you can do those two ones because the river is a little bit too hard. But there is plenty of options to get you on the water and do whitewater rafting, even with a disability. And knowing that whitewater rafting is my favorite activity to do in New Zealand, or one of my favorite activity, I should say, because there's so many amazing things to do, I think it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. Another one are four-wheel drive tours. So this is where you get into a four-wheel drive vehicle with a guide and they take you to some really epic off-roading locations that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get to. And yeah, they might just... there's lots of different types of four-wheel drive tours. So there's ones which will take you through rivers or, in real muddy sort of terrain and stuff. But there's also some really awesome ones to take you to beautiful places around New Zealand. For instance, in Queenstown, there's ones to take you to Lord of the Rings locations, or in Mount Cook, there's a tour to take you up the Tasman Glacier Valley in a four-wheel drive vehicle. So there's really a lot of options around the country, and that's another really cool option, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Okay, another great outdoor activity to see, and it's at sea. It is going to see whales and dolphin. It's so awesome to do whale and dolphin watching, and basically you're just on the boat. Most of the boats have the correct equipment. They have usually a big flat viewing platform is at the front or at the back of the boat. And when the captain actually knows that some people won't be able to move around the boat to see everything, they make sure that they move the boat themselves so everybody get to see the whole show, which is absolutely awesome. It is not to be me. I mean, look at my smile right now. Just like going to see whales is so good.
Yeah. I think a final one that we'll mention is fishing. Fishing is huge in New Zealand. There's hundreds of lakes, so many kilometers of rivers, and how many kilometers of coastline? Like 100 and I think it's 100 and...
Yeah.
No, we're 15,000 kilometers of coastline. Anyway, so there's lots of opportunity for fishing. Obviously, it depends what sort of mobility impairment you have, but there's fishing charters that I'm sure would be able to help you out and take you on their boats. They even do, actually, we did a trip in Lake Taupo where basically we didn't even have to do anything on the fishing trip. Champagne fishing. So it's basically trolling. I think it's called trawling or something.
Not the one on the internet.
Not the one on the internet.
Strolling with an S.
Yeah.
Strolling.
So basically there's a lot of equipment out there to help you out with the fishing. Yeah. So definitely another awesome activity to do if you have a mobility impairment.
All right. Okay, so that is basically 10 activities that we think is awesome to do outdoors in New Zealand, even with disabilities. And we do have a lot of information on BackpackerGuide.NZ. When we tell you guys that we cover every single stuff to do with traveling in New Zealand, this is true. So we have 2 articles. We have Disability and Backpacking in New Zealand, which is a full article explaining you a lot of things that you need to know and you need to be aware if you do plan to travel in New Zealand with disabilities. And we also have 10 activities that you can do with a disability in New Zealand, which are most of the activities that we mentioned right here, but with a little bit more information on each of those. So definitely worth checking those one out. And we'll put a link to those 2 articles in the description below. In the meantime, if you guys find us useful, make sure to like and subscribe. We're here every single week to answer all your questions. And now I'm going to go back to the live chat.
Let's do it.
All right. So there's a lot of people on the live chat. So Adil, I hope that this was helpful to you. Deepti is asking us some questions. Charlie as well. Barbara, Alize, Margarita Mama, Bruce, and George. All right, guys, let's go through everything. Deepti, hi, coming to New Zealand in June. My 9 years old is very concerned. Oh, we just talked about that. Oh, sorry, that was the other one I said. Oh, yeah, Charlie. Okay. Charlie says, what is your favorite place in New Zealand? Charlie. It's a hard one. It changes every week. So this week, my favorite place in New Zealand is Hokitika because I love the Hokitika Gorge and I love the beautiful sunset on the beach. What about you?
My favorite place is Karamea. On the west coast of the South Island. It's so secluded. It's right next to the Kaurangi National Park. You can go see the awesome limestone arches and caves there. And it's very, very wild and out of the way. So that's my favorite place this week.
All right, Charlie, you come back next week and you ask us the same question. You will have a different answer. Barbara is saying, is it easy to take nuts to New Zealand if I declare them? So it is easy to take them, to declare them, and then they will tell you if you can take them inside New Zealand or not. So definitely you need to declare them, but there are really a lot of restrictions. Yeah. We usually recommend not bringing nuts, right? It's as simple as that. We usually say don't bring nuts. If you really, really, really want to, you declare them, and then you avoid having a fine, but usually we say no. So is it easy to bring nuts to New Zealand? No. Deepti again is asking, it will be with 2 families with 2 children each, so please suggest us alternative activities to do. We have limited time. Each activities take 3 or 4 hours. What activity can they do while we're doing some sports? Deepti, you're going to have to give us some locations, like maybe an itinerary or something like that, a bit more context, because, we can suggest activity that you can only do in Auckland, but not there. So just give us a little bit more context so we can answer your question. We'll be happy to oblige.
And all the activities that we did suggest before, to do with your 9-year-old, you can also do with them as well.
Yeah, you should do them with them. Don't just send your 9-year-old do whitewater rafting. Go with him. It's awesome.
They do really awesome family trips down the Tongariro River that we suggested for whitewater rafting. Sorry, they actually do family trips, which would be perfect for you guys as well. So just you do things all together
for sure. Again, guys, I'm sorry if we're tripping a lot on our words or everything like that. We're really sick right now. We definitely have a bad cold, so. Give us a bit of a chance this week. It's a little bit slower. Okay, Alize Nicola. Hello, I'm coming in NZ in October with my boyfriend. Have you some website where I can find some short-term job or you advise us to see on the moment? So finding short-term job right now for October is a little bit too early. I will actually start looking only in August or September. Now for some website to do that, definitely go on our website. It's called BackpackerGuide.NZ. And if you click on work in New Zealand, there is another tab called job listings. And there's really a lot of job listing there. So you'll be able to actually find a lot of short-term, 1 or 2 months job there. But I wouldn't start looking for jobs right now. I would definitely start looking more in October in August and September than to go to October. They don't plan a lot ahead of time. But yeah, definitely plenty of opportunities to do short-term jobs, especially in October, November, December, January. That's the time which is summer and everybody needs some workers.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't start too early to plan too much. Deepti again says you want to take homemade Indian tortillas. Should I get them seal packed, vacuum packed, or normal packing will do? Seal packed for sure. So then you come from a shop with a list of ingredients, and when you enter New Zealand, you're going to need to declare them at customs. When they say, do you have anything to declare on the paper, you need to check yes, otherwise you're going to be in trouble and have to pay a fine.
Yeah.
Margarita Mama, aloha guys, is it getting cold? You look more bundled up. Well, we are pretty sick, so yes, Margarita Mama, it is freezing at the moment, and we definitely got a pretty bad cold. So yeah, you can also hear our voice. Cool. Bruce is asking, what is the best thermal pack in the Rotorua area?
Oh, that's a tough one.
There is quite a lot of them. So I I think Hell's Gate is probably the most popular one. So Hell's Gate's like a lot of mud pools and everything like that. It's a little bit more outside of the town, so it's a bit kind of harder to get to, but it's definitely a very, very popular one. Now, this is a paid one. There is also quite a few mud pool or mud areas, and even hot springs that you can go to, which are actually free, which is also quite cool. So we have a listings on BackpackerGuide.NZ with that. The Waikite thermal pools are also really nice. I think they're a little bit
like geothermal.
Is it geothermal?
Yeah.
Okay, I am reading. No, best thermal park. Oh yeah, geothermal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's start again. So forget about what I said. Okay, so we have Tepuya. There is Waiotapu. There is Orakikorako. Am I missing something?
There's did you say Waiotapu?
Yeah.
There is Tepuya.
I did that. Tepuya.
One that I really want to mention is the Waimangu Volcanic Valley. I love that one.
So there is plenty of them. So what we can do, we can actually tell you a little bit about each of them and tell you a little bit about what makes them different than the other. So if you don't mind, Bruce, stick around. We're just going to go through a few more of the short questions and we'll get back to you in a minute. All right, George, just saw my thoughts. Is it getting cold, really cold there? It seems so. Yes, very cold. Again, everybody gets a bit worried. Yes, it gets cold. Winter is here in New Zealand. Winter has come and it's here now.
Yeah. So right now, like we're in the South Island and definitely toward the center of the North Island. This is where it's the most coldest in New Zealand right now. But if you're a little bit worried about the cold in the Northland region or around Auckland, that feels so much different. In fact, we were in Auckland about a week ago, and the feeling of temperature up there was so different to where we are now. So definitely depends on where you are in the country.
Yeah. All right, so Desai is saying he's from India and he's thinking about studying in New Zealand. So, well, you know what? You should. It's pretty awesome. New Zealand is a pretty awesome country. So definitely need to come and try that. HC Punk Rock, do you want to read his comments?
Yeah, it says, hi. Hope you both feel better. Saw your info about the bars in Auckland and didn't list any clubs where there's live music. Are there venues where there's live music played? Punk rock, reggae, ska, metal?
Well, like live music is actually a bit hard. It's usually you go to like concerts and everything.
There are a lot of bars which do, obviously they do they do have a live band or something that play, but I think for very specific genres like you're suggesting, like punk rock, that I could not suggest you a place for that. It's more usually like a guy with his acoustic guitar just playing some songs that everybody knows.
That's
it's
basically what
that
it is.
Sort of thing.
So we're not enough in tune enough with the reggae, ska, and industrial metal hip hop kind of scene to help with that. But there are a lot of clubs with DJs and those kind of things. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find something. Alize say thank you so much. You're very welcome, Alize. Josh say congrats for what you both are doing and sharing. Well, right now we're sharing our flu with everybody, so yay.
Good job, you guys are behind your computer screen.
Yeah, honestly, it is a good thing. Okay, cool. So let's go with the question from Bruce, and let's give you a bit of details. Okay, Bruce McDonald asking us on YouTube, what is the best thermal park in the Rotorua area? That's a big question because this is literally what Rotorua is famous for, right? Geothermal kind of activities. So thermal park, don't do the same mistake that I've done, which is confusing a thermal park where you can do like a skin treatment and relax in the hot pools to where you can witness the geothermal activity of the earth, which is what geothermal park are usually. So it's basically an insight for you to be able to see the inner working of the earth, which is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
So you see like gas coming out of the earth and usually creating kind of bubbling mud. You see sulfuric water being rushed through the crevasses and popping out, which gives you some really kind of super colorful kind of lakes with a lot of bubbles in them as well. It just looks really awesome. You see geysers, you see a lot of steam, and you see the whole landscape being shaped by that. You see mountains or even just little hills made of literally sulfur, so it's all like yellow and white, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, all those geothermal kind of activities happen usually between the town of Rotorua and the town of Taupo. And this is where you're going to find some of the best geothermal park. And there are quite a few of them. All of them will have, most of them will have a fee. So maybe we can start with the main one, which is free, which is Kuro Park.
Yeah.
And which is located right in the center of Rotorua. It is not necessarily the most impressive, but it's a free one. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Kuro Park, it's right in the center of Rotorua, and it's basically just a public park that you can go to, and there's some walkways that go around to various little fenced areas with bubbling mud in the center. Some of them are more impressive than others, so it depends really on the rainfall recently. Sometimes when it's been raining too much, you don't see the bubbling mud quite so well. But otherwise, if it's been too dry, then the bubbling mud dries up a little bit. So it really depends on sort of like the conditions when you go there, but you will still get to see at least a couple of bubbling mud there. And probably the most impressive feature is this huge steaming lake, and it has a boardwalk that goes right through the middle. It has various lookout points around the lake. So definitely, I think for anyone staying in Rotorua, because it's free, definitely go check out Kuro Park.
Yeah, it's a nice little stroll, and it won't really take you long. It will take you like, let's say 20 minutes at most, and it's definitely worth doing. All right, so let's get started with some of the proper big geothermal park. And one of the one I personally like the most, and despite the fact it's one of the least known, is Orake Korako. So just to spell it for you guys, it's Orakeikoro. If you guys are not sure, make sure to click on the link in the description below where we actually list all of them for you guys. Okay, so Orake Korako is best accessed with the jet boat. Now, hear me out. There is a jet boat called NZ River Jet, which actually does a jet boat on the river, which borders the geothermal park. And as part of one of the tour, you have the entry, which is included. So you can mix two activities together. You do the jet boat, and it's really epic and a massive thrill. Then you take a boat across the river, and then at that point over there, you are exploring the geothermal park. We have a video about it. We actually did it under the rain, which was even better because there was more steam and more stuff happening. So it has amazing features, like a beautiful kind of a volcano-like kind of little hill, which looks amazing with dripping like sulfur from it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It has a lot of flat section as well, which gives you a very kind of eerie Mars-like feeling, which I really like. So yeah, Orake Korako definitely on my top 3, I'll say.
Yeah. Okay. So next I'll say one that pretty much everybody goes to because everyone wants to see that champagne pool, it's called. It's that hot pool with the orange sort of silica around the edge, and that's at Waiotapu Thermal Wonderland. So this is, definitely one of the most popular geothermal parks to go to in Rotorua. But, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the best one. It's just the one with the sort of famous hot pool there.
The main picture is from Waiotapu.
But they do have a lot of other features there as well. There's a thing called the Devil's Bath where it's like bright yellow. It's like a bright yellow lake. There's various different silica terraces. There's a forest which has been sort of steamed with orange all over the trees. And there's loads of different things to see there. And you can get a little leaflet when you arrive telling you, like outlining all the different features that you see, and you just basically follow a one-way walk around the park, visiting all the various attractions. And just outside of Waiotapu is a natural thermal hot pool just under the bridge as you're driving into Waiotapu. And it's a free natural hot spring that you can go and bathe in. So that's another cool thing to do while you're there.
So the next one is the Waimangu Valley. The Waimangu Valley is really cool because you literally go down a valley. So the way it works, just to explain a little bit like how you walk around that valley, you arrive at the entrance and you buy your ticket and everything, and then you start walking down. So you have a map with all the points that you want to check out, and there's some really amazing things to do, like super milky green lakes and a lot of little geysers and bubbling mud and all those kind of things, and some really bright orange stuff, which is really awesome. So you keep on going down, and it's kind of a trek. It's going to be about an hour and a half, and then after you can take the bus back up. But before you do that, you can hop on the boat and then take a cruise a little bit around the lake, which is at the bottom of this valley. And there you're going to be explained the whole story. So I think it was in 1886 that the Mount Tarawera volcano exploded, and basically there was a lot of rumble and everything, and created this whole massive valley. And that's why it's just so much things are happening there. During the cruise, you'll be able to see all the sides of a massive mountain, which are all steaming, and you can see like where used to be a massive mountain that is literally a big hole, and it's quite fascinating. But on top of that, they pair it with some really cool tech. So you can go through it, and we've done it, and it's really awesome. You can go through it with an app that they give you, and you download it on your phone, and you can move your phone around where you are, and you actually can see what it used to look like around it, which is really awesome. So obviously it's like CGI made and everything, so it's not like picture perfect, but it is really fascinating to see how quickly, because again, we're talking about 1886, so that's literally about 120 years ago, so it's not that long ago, and you can see how amazingly different the landscapes are. So it's definitely one which is really worth doing, but let's be honest, this will take you a good big half day to do that, because there is kind of a bit there's a lot to do, going all the way down and do that, and then take the bus back up. Or if you don't want to take the bus back up, by the way, you can definitely walk back up and see some more sites if you want to.
Yeah, you can spend the whole day there with all the walking trails.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think you should plan it for like a day activity. It's really, it's really cool.
Okay, so the last one we'll mention that's in Rotorua is Te Puia, and this is home to the largest geyser in New Zealand. And it's sort of, they say that it's meant to go off every 30 minutes or so, but I mean, when we went there last, it was erupting for the entire time that we were there. So there's no real strong pattern for when it erupts, but even if it's erupting or not, it's a super impressive sight to see. It's this huge geyser with silica terraces coming off it, flowing into a stream below. The whole place is absolutely bizarre, but really amazing. And yeah, so there's also various other things to see around. They've got some really epic bubbling mud around there. And the Te Puia isn't just about the geothermal park there as well. You can actually combine it with a couple of more activities, like cultural activities. They do have a lot of Maori cultural shows going on there. You can try a hangi. You can try food that's actually been cooked in the geothermal in the geothermal waters as well. They also have a kiwi bird sort of sanctuary there, so you can go and check out some kiwi birds there.
And I feel, all there.
Yeah, I feel like there's actually something else you can. Oh yeah, there's like a traditional Maori village, like a mock-up of what Maori villages used to look like, so you can walk around there too. So yeah, that's definitely a really sort of varied activity. And if you want to see sort of it all in Rotorua, if maybe you have limited time in Rotorua and you want to see a bit of Maori culture, you want to maybe see a kiwi bird, you want to see geothermal activity, then that really is the place to go to see it all. For the stuff on the rest of this list here, it's outside of Rotorua. So.
Yeah, I mean, there is one which is worth mentioning, which is in Taupo, if you are driving around. It's called the Craters of the Moon. So this one is a little bit more different as a story than all the other geothermal park, which basically kind of, always were there. So for the Craters of the Moon, the area actually used to be much more active and have much more steams and much more stuff happening. But when they created a power station nearby to capture all the geothermal energy here, in order to actually create, sustainable power for the nearby towns, they actually toned down a lot the activity of the geothermal park, making it able to be visited now. So it's a very kind of eerie kind of landscape. It's pretty much, there's not like 20 different things to see. You just walk around and it's like really steamy and really kind of desolated kind of geothermal land. It just feels, well, like a crater of the moon, which is quite cool. It's one of the cheapest to visit. So, even if you've seen one before, it's definitely worth stopping along the way. It's a short one as well, so it's just one worth mentioning. Anyway, Bruce, I hope that this inspired you. We actually gave you quite a lot of options right here. Tell us which one tempts you the most, and tell us which one you are going to be visiting if you want. And for all of you guys which are planning your trip in New Zealand, we will be putting a link in the description below to an article recapping all the geothermal activity or geothermal park in the Rotorua area. And if you did find that useful, like and subscribe. All right, let's go back to the live chat. Alize say thank you so much. George say, I would do all of that. George says congrats. What's the mountain you like to climb the most? Charlie says, what's the mountain you like to climb the most?
Ooh, there's a lot of mountains to climb in New Zealand. Yeah. So one that I've think's really awesome to do is Mount Ruapehu.
Yeah.
You can climb it in either winter or in summer. In summer, you need to go with a guide because it's not actually a marked trail. But to climb up New Zealand's largest volcano and get to see the crater lake at the top is pretty epic.
One of the ones I love to do. We have done a lot of hike in Taranaki, but we never submitted Mount Taranaki, which is on the west coast of the North Island. Definitely one I would like to submit one day.
Yeah.
But we've done a lot of hike around. We know the area is fantastic. It's just
And as for the South Island, there's so many mountains. Like, I don't think we haven't climbed any of the most significant mountains because there are some, obviously, the mountains in the South Island. You've got some of the highest mountains in New Zealand there. You've got Mount Cook, Mount Tasman, you've got Mitre Peak in Queenstown. All of those, you have to be like a alpine expert to be able to climb those. So I don't even think the other mountains that we've climbed in the South Island are even worth mentioning. They're probably that small.
All right, so Deep T says we have children aged 2 and 4 also. I think they won't be allowed. We'll have to do activities one by one. Franz Joseph, rafting, balloon ride in the South Island. Please suggest alternative activities for the other. So Franz Joseph, when you do the glacier hike, you can take the kids to the wildlife park. There is a wildlife park over there where you can get to see kiwi birds and other native animals of New Zealand. So that's definitely worth taking the kids there. Rafting, if you do the one that we suggested in Tongariro, I actually think that you'll be able to go with very young kids. But if you're not able to do that, definitely go on a hike go to the trout center, which is in Terengi. You're going to be able to see a lot of trouts, maybe some like a lot of fish and everything. You get to see a lot of native birds as well, and maybe even some blue ducks, which is really awesome. And balloon rides, where is he going to do that in the South Island? Is it
Canterbury?
Yeah,
Canterbury area.
I think you can take the kids on the balloon ride. I'd be surprised.
I don't see why you wouldn't be able to.
So definitely you'll be able to take the kids on the balloon ride. So here you go. Deep T, let us know if there's any follow-up questions. Shranvan says, which is a good place to obtain a study for diploma in financial accounting in New Zealand? No idea. We're a travel channel, my friend. That is a very interesting question. I think you should look into it, but I have no idea. Jan Mirambo, is it possible to come with my spouse during my studies in New Zealand and I want to which visa she needs to apply for? We do not legally have the right to give visa advice. We are not a registered immigration advisor. So if you want to look at the one video that we did about visas, which explained the different type of visas which are available in New Zealand, you can check this one out, but that's pretty much it. We don't have the right to answer your question, Jen. I am sorry. This I say, which city is better for studying, Tauranga or Christchurch? I think Christchurch is better because you're in the South Island and there's much more to do around. And Laura thinks Tauranga is better because you're in North Island and there's plenty of things to do around as well. I mean, seriously, for studies, you've really got to do some research and actually know which one, which one is best for you. It depends on your university. Don't choose a city because some people on YouTube tell you what it is. Pick the university that's going to give you the best diploma and the best chances in life. You're spending a lot of money to do that. So, we're not in a good place to tell you that. We can just tell you what is fun to do around. And we have videos on both cities, so check it out. HC Punk Rock says, so for rock and roll, I have to stay in Amsterdam. Yes, definitely. Rock and roll scene is much better in Europe than it is in New Zealand.
Yeah.
No rocking when I'm in Aotearoa. Hey, you can rock yourself, man. There is nothing that tells you that you cannot headbang in your van when driving around. No, not when driving. What? When you stop and then you do it. I'll be in nature, animal, and Maori culture trip. Thank you. Get well, feel strong, blessing. Oh, thank you.
HC Punk Rock.
Yeah, definitely. But just you can headbang. You can headbang in the van. That's no problem at all. Adil says thank you for the recommendation. Deep T says suggest a good hot air balloon places and glowworm caves, which is best, and cheap glacier early hike. Okay. Hot air balloon, so Canterbury is quite good and Hamilton is quite good. Glowworm caves, we actually have 2 videos about the best glowworm caves in New Zealand, so check those one out. But basically, there's some awesome one in Waitomo, there's some other one in Tia now. So please check our channel. We actually already have 2 videos about that. And for the cheap glacier heli hike, we actually have 2 videos as well, which compare all the heli hike in the country. So if you check those one out, we actually talk for over 10 minutes about each of them. Plus, we've done every single one of them. So we've done the 3 glacier heli hike in New Zealand, and we've made a full video about those. So just type heli hike on the search bar of our channel, and you'll have much more information that we can give you right now sitting on the couch. Bruce says thank you guys for some spot on advice there. we'll have a think now which one is the best for you. Yeah, definitely check the article. Also, we link to them and all those kind of things. So check the article on BackpackerGuide.NZ. Just type geothermal on the top and you'll find it. Oh, cool. Charlie's living in Taranaki. That's nice. Have you Charlie, did you submit Taranaki? If yes, in winter or in summer? It's one of the things that we really want to do.
I don't think I would try it in winter.
Oh, I
think there's some, there are some guided hikes and stuff out there in winter.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'd do it in winter.
Yeah. Sophie Williams say, hello, what jobs are available in the winter and where are they?
Ski fields.
Yeah, ski field jobs are available in winter, but you need to actually get in quite quickly.
Yeah.
Retail, hospitalities all around New Zealand.
Yeah.
Horticultural jobs are available as well in around Tauranga and Nelson area, for example. There's plenty of jobs there. One of the best way to find a job in New Zealand, to know what jobs are currently available, is to go on our website. First, if you click on work in New Zealand, we have all the article about the work by season. So we actually describe every area of New Zealand with which kind of jobs are available in which season, which is quite amazing for you to plan your trip around that. But also we have job listings. So you can see what are the jobs which are available right now, which is always good. So if you check this one out, it's pretty handy. Bruce says, I'll be in both Rotorua and Te Anau during my visit. Is it worth spending time to visit the Waitomo glowworm caves, or will Te Anau glowworm caves be a better option?
If you're on limited time and you need to cut out something, then maybe cut out the Waitomo glowworm caves, because that is still a little bit of a drive from Rotorua. Because in Te Anau, the glowworm caves there are really, really impressive. So you'll definitely get a good glowworm experience when you go there. But I mean, if you do have a lot of time to spend, then you can make the trip to Waitomo, and there's lots of different glowworm options. If you want to do something maybe more unique, do one of the caving tours there. That's definitely a reason to go to Waitomo, in my opinion, to actually do one of those awesome caving tours. But otherwise, the Te Anau glowworm caves is a really nice tour and a really good view of the glowworms.
All right, then Oats.
I like that name.
Love your show. Oh, thank you. I have two questions I wanted to ask you. Okay. One, in New Zealand, is it possible to develop wealth, work hard, own property in the future? Yes, I think you got a chance everywhere. It's
sounds like the American dream.
Yeah, I mean, capitalism is available everywhere. Look, we're in New Zealand. We work hard. Everybody can do it. Is it tax included in prices in store? Yes. So usually you have so when you see a price, when you go to shopping and it says it's $10, you're going to pay $10. Inside that, there is GST, which is included. It's 15%. So the store will have to give $1.5 to the government. Now, sometimes when you run a business, you will have offers for price plus GST, right? So if it says plus GST, that means you need to add 15%. So if they say it's $1,000 plus GST, it would be $1,150. But yeah, that's just basically. So if you shop as a private consumer, usually GST is included in it. Sometimes you have like tradies that like any of the builders and everything like that, they usually give you a quote which is not inclusive of GST. So you need to be aware of that, but it's always written. So if you see plus GST, that means you need to add 15%. If you don't see anything, that means the price includes the GST. So the tax is, yes, included in it. Now, as per the American dream in New Zealand, yes, definitely it is possible. I'd be surprised if that wasn't the case. I mean, there would be a revolution, right? If no one had a shot. Leo Amazon say, hi, dude. Well, hi, dude.
Hey,
dude. Sophie says, Sophie answers Oates' questions. That's good. Desai says, thank you. Aha, you guys are awesome. And please visit India. I will help you to visit my country. Honestly, right now we're cold and sick. We'd be really happy to be in India, to be hot and sweaty. I can tell you that right now. But yeah, that'd be cool to go to India. Would you like to go to India one day? Yeah, that'd be fun. Sophie says, thank you. Charlie says, I have to go. What? You haven't told us if you did submit Taranaki. Why are you leaving before you tell us that?
I think he hasn't. I think he's avoiding the question.
Yeah, I think he is. Okay, Oates says he has another question. In your opinion, which country do you think is more beautiful, Australia or New Zealand? So Laura hasn't been to Australia, so
I think New Zealand, because Australia is just a dream to me.
So I've been in both, and Australia is definitely more for you if you're into like city life, and that's the kind of thing that you're into, like city life and beach.
The outback.
No, because you don't stay
in the outback.
You don't stay in the outback. You don't usually stay in the outback. So it's usually city life and beach. And then you do 1, 2, in the outback. That's my experience over there. I did a working holiday over there in my youth. Not like I'm old right now, but I feel old because I'm sick. So that's what New Zealand is. So Australia is more about. New Zealand is more about the outdoor exploration. It's more like you like dream road trip. You know, every time you drive, like every hour, there's a different landscape, there's different stuff. So definitely New Zealand is the country that took my heart. Just to give you a bit of background, I worked and traveled in 16 different countries before I arrived in New Zealand, and I was supposed to only be here for about 3 months. And I just completely fell in love with the country. And so I decided to stay here, and I don't regret anything. So in my opinion, for the beautiful landscape and the wow factor, I think New Zealand definitely has it. And for more of the city life and the hustle and bustle of the city and,
surfing.
Yeah, like, work, what is it? Like metro, work, sleep or whatever. Like, this thing is that's more what you're going to find in Australia.
Work, eat, sleep, repeat.
Yeah, something like that. So that's why it's going to be more like.
Oh, Charlie's back.
So have you submitted Taranaki? Like I think you just called him out, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our take on Australia versus New Zealand. Oh, it's obviously we're more specialized in New Zealand because we spend much more time in New Zealand. But yeah, that's my personal opinion as well. Some people say they prefer Australia than New Zealand.
Yeah. Shall we do one more question or?
Wait, there's one more. Shravan says, how would you compare Canada and New Zealand? Which is better in terms of cost of living? So
again, Robin has also lived in Canada.
So I done a working holiday in Canada as well, believe it or not. So yeah. So comparing Canada and New Zealand, definitely Canada will have a cheapest cost of living just because there's more people, there's more fur and everything. So everything costs a little bit more in New Zealand. I mean, we live in an island, so you have to import kind of everything. So if you're going straight for cost of living, Canada is cheaper for sure. Especially if you're willing to live in one of the suburbs. Like I personally lived in Vancouver. I was in the city center and everything was crazy expensive. But if you're willing to live in one of the suburbs, like Richmond, for example, near Vancouver, then definitely everything is going to be much, much cheaper for you. So if you literally just want to compare things for cost of living, definitely Canada is better for you. But if you consider ease of travel, because like Canada has also amazing landscape, let's not get that wrong. But the thing is, it takes you 6 or 7 hours to get there and costs you so much to get there. While in New Zealand, you just drive off about an hour and you get amazing landscape and amazing things to do. So kind of like for the travel part, Canada is not as great. But if you just want to grind it and work in the city and live in the suburb, well, definitely Canada is definitely for you. It did allow me to save a lot of money doing that. So yeah. Man, a lot of questions ask me about my past right here. Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, so that was that for you, Shravan. Dipti says, thank you so much. Which are the best places to buy really warm clothes and thermals? I'm going to carry rain jacket, but which kind of shoes I bring? So you need waterproof hiking shoes, that's for sure.
Any closed shoes that you have, obviously don't. I think you said you were coming in winter. I think I remember you saying that. So yeah, you don't really need to bring any sandals or anything like that. Just make sure you have closed shoes to keep your feet warm. Socks as well to go with those shoes to keep your feet warm. And yeah, it's for hiking and walking, which is obviously a big thing to do in New Zealand. Definitely get maybe some walking shoes, some hiking shoes, preferably waterproof walking shoes with like Gore-Tex technology or any sort of that technology where it keeps your feet nice and dry. Okay, and now for the shops to actually buy your outdoor gears, we actually do have a video about that, but quickly, so make sure to Google that. Search on our channel and you'll find the whole video where we explain about every single one of the stores. But I'm going to give you a list right now. You've got Torpedo 7, which this jacket is from. You've got Kathmandu, you got Macpac, you got Bivouac, you got Mountain Warehouse, and I think that's. In terms of if you want to get some cheap thermal clothing, you can also go to the warehouse. That sort of thing. Yeah, I don't think they're going to last more than a season. But yeah, if you just want that just for your trip. If you're living in India, you probably don't need thermals. So if you are just wanting it for the one trip, you could go. Yeah, so there's a store called the Warehouse and they have a lot of really cheap clothing. So that can be a good option for you as well. Cool. So HT Punk Rock say, better chap. Oh, it's Dutch. Okay, we say it in Dutch word. Better chap. That means get well soon. Greetings. Oh, give me some flowers. Oh, nice. That's for you as well. We're gonna get some more hot tea and everything like that. So yeah.
Charlie says was going to do the Manawaikai hut in Mount Taranaki. Oh, nice. So when are you going to do that? You're not doing it in winter, are you?
Oh, that'll be chilly.
I mean, if you do have the equipment and the experience, I mean, good on you. Sadly, we don't have that experience just yet. Okay, then you say, how can I contact you, sir and ma'am?
On the live chat.
Yeah, on the live chat. Just ask your questions right here, or just ask them in the comments. We like to actually answer questions in live videos because it does help everybody. So yeah, we usually don't take like private questions. When we receive questions on Facebook or on Instagram and everything, we usually say, okay, yeah, we write it down and we answer it for you guys on the next live video, which we're gonna have to take at least one of those today. Oats say, how's the weather in New Zealand? Is it like Canada? Thank you so much. I hope I'm not a bother. So Canada is such a big country. There is so many different kind of weather patterns. I mean, you're talking about the entire continent. You're talking about just New Zealand right here. So it's not comparable whatsoever. It is tend to be a little bit warmer in New Zealand on the year kind of average. But, Canada gets much colder in winter than New Zealand gets. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, I just can't compare that. I think it's just, it really depends on your location and everything. But we do have full article about the weather in New Zealand month by month if you go on BackpackerGuide.NZ. So you can use that article and then check out the weather in Canada and you'll be able to actually compare them. But I would strongly suggest you pick a place in Canada to start comparing because it's so different. Yeah. I would say also, do you guys have a lot of business in New Zealand? Small store, etc. Not the same brands, for example, like in Canada. New Zealand is very much overtaken by a bunch of brands, and every mall you go, every shopping mall you're gonna go, they're gonna be the same kind of bunch of like 20 stores.
Yeah.
Small businesses are there is a lot of small businesses, but they really flimsy. They come and go very quickly. So
in terms of like when you're traveling around tourism wise, there's a lot of small tourist companies. So there's a lot of mom and pop tours. So in terms of tourism, you'll find a lot of small companies as well, which is really good. And in small towns, there's obviously a lot of small like gift stores and that sort of thing. So but in terms of buying clothes and like the bare necessities, that's usually overrun by the big companies. So yeah.
Cool. Charlie says he's going to do his climb in summer. This I says in the live chat here, it's 2:25 a.m. at night. Oh man, that is late.
Ooh.
Thank you for keeping with us. That's really awesome. Is New Zealand good for brand shopping? No, we have to import everything, so everything is more expensive here. So hell no, go anywhere else.
Definitely don't come to New Zealand for shopping.
No, not at all. All right, guys, before we close up, we want to do some more questions that we received from you guys. So we actually had Elizabeth on YouTube that says, what about toiletries? I was planning on just taking a carry-on to New Zealand and buy most toiletries when I was there. However, after doing some research, some people advise buying them beforehand due to how expensive they are in New Zealand. For example, sunscreen. What do you say? All right, so the cost of toiletries in New Zealand. So for sure, it is always easier to get yourself your own brand, the thing that beforehand, before coming to New Zealand. But it is always easier to travel with carry-on. I mean, I arrived in New Zealand with the carry-on. I love traveling with the carry-on.
I've been very jealous of people that have managed to do that. To travel around New Zealand with the carry-on is so easy. Like, obviously you're not carrying as much stuff. It's definitely a good way to go if you do want to have like a backpacking experience. But yeah, that does mean that you won't be able to bring plenty of toiletries through customs. So what
I've done for you, Elizabeth, is actually I went to the supermarket for you, and actually I wrote the price down of all the items which I consider toiletries. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the price that I find. Obviously, there is always a kind of a bit of a price range depending on which brand you want and everything like that. But here is what I got for you. So for sunscreen, obviously there's so much different prices. I personally usually buy the sunscreen, which is reef safe. That means that when you wash it in the water, it's not going to destroy the corals and everything like that. And that in New Zealand cost about $14. So it sounds a little bit expensive.
Yeah.
If you don't care about the planet, and you want to get whatever sunscreen you can find for cheaper, you can get sunscreen for about $7 for a good size bottle. But we suggest you spend $7 to save our beautiful planet Earth. But
spend $15 to save.
No, an extra $7.
Oh, right.
An extra $7. Yeah. All right. Then toothbrush prices range between $1 to $5. It really depends. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's happening at the moment with toothbrush in the world. But I arrive in the supermarket, and man, there is like a million different. I usually take always kind of the same one. The one I take is about $3.50, but oh my god, there's so many different ones.
There is.
Anyway, so it goes from $1 to about $5 for a toothbrush. Some of them have like literally like a pattern on it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just completely craziness. But yeah, I guess I don't know.
You can get those eco-friendly
that's
toothbrushes
true. That's
now.
true. That's
we
the
have
one.
just bought some for the
That's
first
the one
time
we get,
recently, and we want to check them out. Those bamboo toothbrushes. So.
Bamboo and charcoal Brussels. Or
Yeah.
whatever that is. So yeah, that's those ones are pretty cool. So that's the one which has $3.50 in there. Then we have toothpaste. So toothpaste, like they are between $3 and $7. The same thing depending on like what kind of fancy toothpaste do you want. Now, always check the price of toothpaste per like 100 grams or something like that, per weight. Because I'm not joking, almost every single time in New Zealand, we find that the toothpaste family value pack are more expensive than the
that's
normal
definitely
one.
something to keep an eye out in New
It's
Zealand.
crazy.
The value packs are not always, it's actually not better value than the small things. You actually save money by, buying the smaller versions of those toothpastes and stuff rather than the family packs. If you're going off the like price per gram. So yeah, do keep an eye out for that. They can be pretty tricky with those sort of pricings.
Yeah. Then the dental floss.
Yeah, $3 for dental floss. And just to make it clear, this is New Zealand dollars.
Yeah, New Zealand dollars.
Not any other time. It's not US, it's not Australian, nothing like that. New Zealand dollars, this is the prices we're going for. So dental floss around $3.
So then mouthwash like Listerine or McLean or whatever those brands are.
Yeah, so that's around $7. I think that's for one of the bigger bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deodorants. So something for deodorant, there is so many choices between the spray can, the roll up, the this, that. So there is like something when you do supermarket shopping without doing some research for you, Elizabeth, you kind of just grab the stuff that you used to and you pretty much you don't look around. But man, it goes crazy expensive. So the can, like the spray ones, which are terrible for the planet, but they're the most expensive one. So they're, like be $5, $6 sometimes. So they're quite expensive. But the roll-up one, which are much better for the planet, they're about $3. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Body wash.
Body wash is around $6.
On the same note, like the kind of bar soap, if you rather go for soaps rather than body wash and everything like that, they between $1 to $2 depending on which soap you want and how much goat milk you want in your soap, because apparently goat milk is the new thing. Like there was like so many stuff saying new goat milk, new with goat milk. So I want to try goat milk.
Shampoo and conditioner, that's around $4 for each. So that's pretty, obviously you got a lot of choices there as well. For lady items like pads and tampons, that's around $4 each as well. And again, you have loads of choice.
What's inside the pack? They're quite small, right? Or
like 20, or... I think they're like 16 per pack or something. But the thing to note about like lady items in New Zealand is that the packaging is crazy. They put loads and loads of packaging. They package every single individual item and then put a cardboard box around it and then put another cardboard box around it and then put some like plastic film around the whole thing. So
Christmas.
I know, it's crazy. So there are some eco-friendly options there as well if you do want to buy those, and they're usually a bit more expensive, around $5 each.
All right, so for shaving, shaving cream is around $6. It's about the same price for the foam stuff as well, so it's about the same thing, but usually you get more use out of shaving creams. And razors and blades are usually about $8. As for the combo with like one blade and one razor, if you want refill of blade, it's usually about between $12 and $15. That's an extra 3 blades. I'd like $1 or $2 for women ones. Weirdly enough, I never really looked at the price of yours, but like I looked at it and it was like, oh, it's just there's a pink tax. They call it the pink tax, because you're a girl. It's just a little bit.
I know,
more,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually
it's the same thing. It's essentially the same
That's
thing.
why sometimes I used to just buy like guys' versions of these things.
It's just blue or pink.
Cheaper. Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway, wipes. Again, horrendous for the planet, but $8 if you want to buy a pack of wipes. You know how to make that cheaper? Just use your body wash and the water in the sink.
Just use soap,
Right. And that works too.
And finally, earbuds. So those little stuff you use to clean your ears. For a pack of like 100, it's like those round boxes, around $4. All right, so I hope that this kind of like give you a bit of an insight of what is the cost of toiletries in New Zealand. and that will help you evaluate if you want to buy that back home or not. Comparing from the experience I had with other countries, I don't think the price is that different. It wouldn't make me want to change my mind from carry-on to backpack for just that much, you know. Like if I add everything right here, I have like at the most I have $50. So if you save 10% by buying it back home, it's $5 compared to like having to carry a big bag all around and having to do all the checking and everything. Hell, I'm spending the extra $5. Hell, I will spend the extra $50. In fact, even if I had free toiletries from back home, I will spend the money to buy all that because I wouldn't make the difference. It's my personal opinion, obviously. But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, we are gonna put some links in the description below about the cost of life in New Zealand, so you understand a bit more the cost of every type of items in New Zealand to help you guys out. So make sure to check this one out. And if you find that useful, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. It always helps us a lot. All right, we'll go back to the live chat. So what do we have? Shravan is asking, would you like to
know how you guys started your initial days in New Zealand?
That's a really good question. I think this is going to get us to talk for quite a wee while, and because we're around the end, if that's cool with you, Shravan, are you cool? I'm going to write your question down right now, and we'll do it next week, if that's okay with you. So I'm going to write your question at the end of this live chat. I write it down, and next week we actually will be doing it because right now we only have about a couple of minutes left, and so that wouldn't do it justice because that's a very interesting questions, but you know it's going to be a bit more long. Also, thank you for doing this live stream. It helped me a lot. You're very much welcome. One last question. Wow, you said one last question I think 4 times. But yeah, earthquake in New Zealand, bad in New Zealand. Earthquakes, we have a full video about that where we explain everything. We explain the strength, we explain where they happen and everything like that. So I really strongly advise you to actually watch this video because we talk about it for about 10 minutes and we give you all the insight that there is. But in short, not really, but definitely do a bit more research, and we have plenty of some of those. Deepti say, thanks for being so helpful. You really appreciate it. Well, we really appreciate your support. Like and subscribe, and thank you very much for that. And Charlie say, thanks. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. We really do appreciate your support. It means a lot that you guys are showing up every week, despite the fact we're sick and everything. But before you guys leave, we have a big news. This week, we have reached 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. Woo! So that's thanks to you guys. And we have reached 8,000 likes on Facebook as well. Whoa. All of them together. So make sure to subscribe on YouTube and like us on Facebook to see which one is actually going to grow the fastest. I think it's going to be YouTube. But yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for sticking with us. That's really awesome. I think the next big step is the next big step is 9,000.
Well, the next step is 9,000, but it'd be pretty awesome to get to 10,000.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool one day. Yeah, one day that would happen if we keep on helping people. All right. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back here exactly at the same time next week. So if you don't know what time that is, it's 8 a.m. New Zealand time, which for you guys, if you are in the US, 4 p.m. EST, 12 p.m. PST. If you are in the UK or in France, it's 9 p.m. in the UK and 2200 in France. And if you are in India, it's 1:30 a.m. So it's quite early for you guys in India, but you guys usually showing up, so that's pretty awesome. Anyway, we are seeing you next week, and hopefully we won't be sick, so we'll have a little bit more energy. Yeah. We will not be drinking about 20 liters of lemon water while you guys are watching that. And Amsterdam, it's now 10 past 11. Oh my God. So that means it's 10 o'clock if you are in Amsterdam. So all you people in Amsterdam, join us next week at 10 o'clock, and I think it's Saturday night. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. 8 a.m. New Zealand time every Sunday. Check it out, what time it is for you guys. It's usually on the Saturday. Bye-bye. Thank you for everything.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.